Well, basically, if you want to summarize my life, I'm 70 now. If I look at it and want to paraphrase it in a brief terms, I'd consider my life having been spent in two areas, but somehow finding common ground in the end. What I'm referring to is my involvement and interest in sports, leading to a medical degree and then medical specialization in the area of medical sciences, pathology, and medical microbiology. All of which I've made contributions nationally and internationally. And it is typified by my having won 2 separate national awards. So this sort of represents my efforts in these two areas. Initially, as you can imagine, they are quite distinct and separate, but somehow you try to find time to be able to do both to the level of excellence that you're capable of. So in terms of sports, I started off at the age of 16 as a schoolboy when I participated in my first Olympic Games. Then the second Olympic Games was when I was a medical student, and the third one when I was a practicing doctor in General Hospital, Kuala Lumpur. So I've gone through my career path as seen in my participation in these 3 Olympic Games. Having decided to take up medicine, I applied myself completely to it and decided to go into the field of pathology in the subspecialty of medical microbiology. And I worked with the government service for 32 years and worked through the government career structure, mainly in the Institute for Medical Research, culminating in the post of Director of the Institute for Medical Research. And then my last post in the Ministry of Health was as Deputy Director General in charge of research and technical support in the ministry. After a very brief spell, I came back into the sport, initially as an administrator and also volunteering my services in the areas of sports medicine, looking after some of our sports teams. And slowly, one of the issues that emerged in the sporting arena was the scourge of athletes taking performance-enhancing substances, which in common language we call doping in sports. And the movement started with sports bodies and eventually led to the formation of the World Anti-Doping Agency, whose specific mission is to keep sports clean and fair and free of doping practices. And I'm in charge of ensuring that all these processes are put in place so that as far as possible, we can ensure that athletes who participate and win at these games are free from performance-enhancing substances. So this is where, at this point of my life, I have managed to find a synergy between my scientific endeavors and my sporting connections in being able to contribute in this area. Well, basically, the movement to keep sports clean and fair hinges on a number of pillars. Catching athletes actually with performance-enhancing substances in their bodies so that when they are sanctioned and punished, it will serve as a deterrent. Education, where we use all our endeavors to teach our athletes about the scourges of doping, not just the health effects, but also the fact that this is against the spirit of sport. And thirdly, we put in place mechanisms that will also now bring in other players in society, such that it is not just the sports bodies that are going to be involved, but we also look at criminal elements as well as the sources of these drugs. So it's a widening battle, and it's an evolutionary battle, and the steps are being taken to have an integrated approach between governments, sports bodies, and the athletes themselves. As you can imagine, science has many facets and is so broad-based that will suit or interest a person, but with this basic scientific knowledge, you are able to apply it to many things. Then the whole issue is to work hard and go patiently until you reach the cutting edge.